wasn't hungry anymore, just killing time before the bus. The tray was mostly empty, a few napkins, too much ice, a couple texts I never answered. The place was loud enough to make everything feel private. People coming in, people heading out, nobody looking for anything special. At least that's what it looked like. You walked in carrying 2 bags and a jacket that kept slipping off your shoulders. Sat one table over like it didn't matter, like none of it mattered at all. There was only one left at the bottom of the tray. I almost left it there. Funny how a whole year can lean on something that's small. One last fry, a random question, a seat that wasn't taken, a conversation that shouldn't have lasted. Now when people ask me how it all began, I never know whether to tell the short version or the true one. You asked if I was finished, pointing at the tray like it was the most normal thing anyone had ever asked. I said, go ahead. You said, thanks, that should have been it. Honestly, that should have been the entire story. But somehow, we started talking about buses, then cities, then jobs, then all the things neither of us planned to mention to a stranger on a Tuesday. The fries were gone, the ice had melted, the bus I needed left 20 minutes ago. Funny how a whole year can lean on something that small. One last fry, a random question, a seat that wasn't taken, a conversation that shouldn't have lasted. Now when people ask me how it all began, I never know whether to tell the short version or the true one. Maybe it would've happened anyway, maybe not, maybe another day, another table, another place would've done the same thing. But I don't really buy that anymore. Some days are built from big decisions, some days aren't. Some days arrive disguised as absolutely nothing. Funny how a whole life starts collecting around details, the things nobody notices, the things nobody keeps. One last fry, a missed bus, 2 people with nowhere urgent to be, and every year after that gets stacked on top like it was always meant to happen, even though it almost didn't. Sometimes I think about it when the tray is nearly empty and somebody leaves the last one behind. I still smile every single time, because I know what happened once when I didn't leave it there. You said 15 minutes, maybe 20 if the traffic stayed bad. Nothing unusual, you were always a little late. I was already there. Corner table by the window, half a drink, phone face down, watching people pass without really watching. The place smelled like coffee and something sweet I couldn't name. A playlist I knew but couldn't place. Everything felt forgettable in the best way, like a page nobody was going to keep. And somebody asked, is this seat taken? And suddenly the afternoon had a different shape. Take your time, I'm in no hurry now. Funny how the thing I was waiting for changed while I was waiting around. You were supposed to be the reason I showed up that day, but looking back, you weren't the story, you were just the delay. We talked about small things, the kind that don't sound important later. A movie neither of us finished, a bakery 2 streets over, the weird way buses arrive all at once then disappear. You laughed at something I don't even remember saying, and somehow that made me laugh too. The message came through, almost there, with the little location pin, moving closer street by street, minute by minute. I should have been checking the time. Instead I was learning how easily a stranger can stop feeling like one. Take your time, I'm in no hurry now. Funny how the thing I was waiting for changed while I was waiting around. You were supposed to be the reason I showed up that day, but looking back, you weren't the story. You were just the delay. Maybe if the traffic moved faster, maybe if I picked another place, maybe if you left 5 minutes earlier, nothing would have happened at all. No big moment, no dramatic scene, just two people sharing a table until one day it became more than that. Take your time, that's what the message said, and I still think about it more than I probably should, because some things arrive right when they're supposed to. Not because anybody planned them, not because anybody knew, just because life gets distracted for a little while and leaves the right door open long enough for someone to walk through. You finally got there, out of breath, saying sorry like always, and we spent the rest of the day together, just like we planned. But years later, when people ask about that afternoon, the first thing I remember is waiting. It started raining harder right after I crossed the street. Not dramatic, not movie scene rain, just enough to make everyone walk faster. I checked my pockets like something new might appear. A folded receipt, 2 coins, a pen that barely worked, no umbrella. Of course, no umbrella. I was standing under a storefront sign, trying to decide whether to wait or just get soaked. Funny how some people only belong to a few minutes, not a whole season, not a whole year. Just 7 blocks, 3 crosswalks, and a borrowed corner of an umbrella. Still somehow I remember that walk better than most conversations I've had since then. You looked over and lifted the umbrella slightly, like it wasn't a big decision, like sharing a little space cost nothing. I said thanks, you nodded, and we started walking same direction, at least for a while. We talked about small things, the rain, the traffic, the coffee place closing early. Nothing worth writing down at the time, but sometimes the things worth remembering never announce themselves first. Funny how some people only belong to a few minutes, not a whole season, not a whole year. Just 7 blocks, 3 crosswalks, and a borrowed corner of an umbrella. Still somehow I remember that walk better than most conversations I've had since then. At the station entrance, you pointed left, I pointed right. We laughed about almost nothing, then said goodbye the way strangers do. Confident, certain, like we never think about it again. Funny how some moments stay. Funny how some moments stay longer than they're supposed to. A short walk, a little rain, a name we never asked for, a story that never really started. And maybe that's why it stayed so clear, because nothing happened except exactly what happened now. every time rain starts falling just a little harder than expected. I think about that umbrella that wasn't mine, and those 7 minutes that somehow still are. The train was almost full, just enough empty seats to make choices matter. I found the window first, bag on my lap, coffee getting cold somewhere between cities, with nowhere important to be. The sky looked clear, the kind of afternoon people take photos of and forget to look at for more than a second. And you stop beside my road, ticket in your hand, looking for a place to sit. So I took the aisle and gave you the better view. At least that's what I thought back then. You watch the rivers, the stations, the fields passing by. But years later, the only thing I remember seeing was you looking out that window. Yeah. You barely said a word, just a quiet thanks, and settled into the seat like you've been there all day. Every now and then you'd lean closer to the glass when something caught your eye. A bridge, a town, a road disappearing somewhere. I never asked what you saw, I never needed to. Some people explain everything, some people don't, and somehow the second kind stays longer. So I took the aisle and gave you the better view. At least that's what I thought back then. You watch the rivers, the stations, the fields passing by. But years later, the only thing I remember seeing was you looking out that window. The funny thing is, I can't remember the route, can't remember the train number, can't remember where I got off. But I remember the sunlight on the edge of your sleeve, and the reflection in the glass, making the whole world look twice as far away. So I took the aisle and gave you the better view. Or maybe you gave it to me without meaning to. Because all these years later, the rivers are gone, the stations are gone, every landscape has blurred together. But that afternoon stayed exactly where I left it. Sometimes the best view isn't outside the window. Sometimes it's the person looking through it. The doors closed a second before I got there. Not dramatic, not worth getting upset about. Still, I stood there for a moment, looking at my reflection in the glass as the train pulled away. Everybody inside already moving somewhere, and me nowhere for the next 20 minutes. I checked the board like the numbers might change if I stared long enough. The next departure wasn't far away, just enough time for the day to become something else. I thought I missed my chance, that's how it felt at first. But sometimes the thing you miss is only making room for something better timed. I bought another another coffee, even though I didn't need one. Walk past the newsstand twice, read the same headline 3 different times. Sat near track 7, watching people arrive with flowers, with luggage, with stories I couldn't hear. The station kept moving without asking me to. Funny how waiting changes once you stop trying to hurry it along. The next departure wasn't far away, just enough time for the day to become something else. I thought I missed my chance, that's how it felt at first. But sometimes the thing you miss is only making room for something better. Time. A message came through, running late, then another, almost there. And somehow, for the first time all day, I wasn't watching the clock anymore. The next departure finally showed its number. People stood up, collected their bags, finished their conversations, and I followed like everyone else. But something about that delay stayed with me longer than the trip itself. Now when plans fall apart a little sooner than expected, I don't mind the way I used to. I've learned some of my favorite days started with the train leaving without me. I picked it up on Thursday, same place as always, little ticket, my last name written wrong like it usually was. Got home, hung it by the door, and didn't think much of it until I reached into the pocket, looking for nothing, and found a movie stub from a theater I hadn't been to. A receipt from somewhere downtown, 2 train tickets folded in half, and a grocery list written in handwriting I knew wasn't mine. I should have taken it back right then, probably. But it was my size, close enough to borrow, close enough to wonder what kind of day it had seen before it ended up with me. A jacket meant for somebody else, hanging in my hallway for one strange afternoon. It fit a little too well. There was a cafe stamp card almost full, just one space left. A pen without a cap, a parking receipt from 3 weeks ago. Nothing important, nothing dramatic, just enough details to make a person appear a little at a time. I started guessing things, got most of them wrong, probably all of them still. It felt like reading the middle chapter of a book without knowing how it started or ended. Funny how quickly a stranger becomes real once you find proof they were here. And it was my size, close enough to borrow, close enough to wonder what kind of day it had seen before it ended up with me. A jacket meant for somebody else, hanging in my hallway for one strange afternoon. It fit a little too well. The next morning, the cleaner called, said there'd been a mix-up, and honestly that should have been the end. But before I left, I checked the pockets once more, like there might be something I missed. Not an answer, just another clue. It was my size, but never really mine, just something I carried for less than a day. Still somehow I remember it better than half the things I actually owned. A jacket, a few receipts, a handful of ordinary evidence that somebody else had been having a life right beside mine. The whole time I handed it back, took mine home, and everything returned to normal, mostly. But every now and then, when I check a pocket before doing the laundry, I still wonder what stories I'm walking past without knowing. I found the note halfway through the book, tucked between 2 pages, like it had been waiting longer than I had. The handwriting leaned to the right, blue ink slightly faded. Just one sentence, nothing else, no name, no date, no explanation. Only read page 17. I looked around, like somebody might be watching to see if I would. Page 17, that's all it said. No reason why, no hint of what I'd find. But suddenly I wasn't reading alone anymore. Some stranger had been here first, leaving directions to a place only they knew. The page wasn't folded, nothing highlighted, no dramatic line waiting in the middle. Just a paragraph about missing a train and ending up somewhere else. The kind of thing I would have passed right over without a second thought if nobody had told me to stop there for a minute. Funny how attention works. Sometimes we need permission to notice things. Page 17, that's all it said. No reason why, no hint of what I'd find. But suddenly I wasn't reading alone anymore. Some stranger had been here first, leaving directions to a place only they knew. Maybe it wasn't important, maybe they chose that page by accident. Maybe the note belonged to somebody else entirely. But for a while I kept imagining them standing where I stood, reading the same words and deciding they mattered. Page 17 still stays with me, more than the ending, more than the title, more than most books I finish. Because every story is partly about the people who carry it around. And for one afternoon, that book held two. I left the note exactly where I found it, between the pages, for whoever comes next. Maybe they'll read it, maybe they won't, but I like the idea of a stranger passing something small to another stranger without ever meeting. I didn't notice it at first, just dropped the change into my pocket along with the receipt. A bottle of water, a pack of gum, nothing worth remembering about that afternoon, at least not then. It wasn't until later, empty in my pockets at home, that I saw it. A tiny heart drawn in black ink on 101 coin, small enough to miss if I wasn't looking. It should've meant nothing, but somehow it didn't. 101, that's all it was. Not enough to buy much, not enough to keep, but I kept it anyway, wondering whose hands it passed through before it ended up with me. A little heart on a little coin, making a regular day feel less for a bus. Maybe it was a joke between two friends. Maybe somebody drew it for somebody else and forgot about it. An hour later I made up stories more than once, changed my mind more than that. The truth was probably simpler than anything I imagined. Still, I liked imagining it. Some objects carry value, others carry evidence. 101, that's all it was. Not enough to buy much, not enough to keep, but I kept it anyway, wondering whose hands it passed through before it ended up with me. A little heart on a little coin, making a regular day feel less anonymous. Months went by without me spending it, moving from wallet to jacket pocket to the small tray by the door, then back again. Not because it was rare, not because it was worth anything, just because it had already become part of a story. 101, still sitting somewhere, probably worth less now than the questions attached to it. The coin was ordinary, the drawing wasn't, and maybe that's why I remember it, because somebody left a tiny sign behind without knowing who would find it next. I still check my change sometimes, not looking for money, looking for proof that strangers leave pieces of themselves everywhere if you pay attention long enough. I found it in a paperback, used more than once, the cover bent, corners worn soft, the kind of book that I belonged to several people before it belonged to me. A receipt tucked inside, serving as a bookmark, half faded, barely hanging on. I almost threw it away without looking. Then I saw the date and stopped for a second, longer than I expected. Same date, 1 year apart, some strange standing in a checkout line on the very day I was doing something else entirely. Funny how two lives can pass through the same square on a calendar without ever knowing the other was there. The receipt wasn't interesting. Coffee, a sandwich, a bottle of water, nothing worth saving, at least not on purpose. Still, there it was a full year later, making its way from one shelf to another, from one reader to the next. I tried to remember what I was doing that day, where I was, who I was with, what seemed important then. Most days disappear without asking permission. Same date, 1 year apart, some strange standing in a checkout line on the very day I was doing something else entirely. Funny how two lives can pass through the same square on a calendar without ever knowing the other was there. Maybe they finished the book, maybe they didn't. Maybe they forgot the receipt before they even got home. Maybe they never thought about it again, the way we never think about all the ordinary evidence we leave behind. Same date, still written there, small reminder that every ordinary day belongs to somebody in ways we'll never see. One receipt, one bookmark, one forgotten piece of paper, connecting to afternoons a year apart for no reason at all. I put it back between the pages, right where I found it, and for a moment it felt less like a receipt but taken the long way around to get here. I found it in a library book, folded into quarters, pressed flat between the pages, like it had been there long enough to belong. No name, no handwriting I recognized, no explanation, just a list written quickly, like somebody was already late. At the bottom, one line stood alone. Don't forget, that's all it said. Not what, not why, just don't forget. And somehow that felt bigger than the rest, bigger than batteries, bigger than appointments, like it was meant for more than one thing. 9:40, call mom, buy batteries, the kind of reminders most people throw away without a second thought. But I kept reading them like there was a story hidden there. Somebody's Tuesday afternoon, somebody's unfinished errands. A life moving forward, one small note at a time. Funny how a stranger can start to feel familiar from almost nothing. Don't forget, that's all it said. Not what, not why, just don't forget. And somehow that felt bigger than the rest, bigger than batteries, bigger than appointments, like it was meant for more than one thing. Maybe they remembered, maybe they didn't. Maybe the batteries got bought, maybe the phone call happened. Maybe that piece of paper did exactly what it was supposed to do, and then got left behind without anybody noticing except me. Don't forget, it still echoes now and then whenever I leave something important by the door, or write a note to myself on the back of a receipt. Because sometimes the smallest reminders carry the most weight, not because they're urgent, but because they're human. I put the note back inside the book, right where I found it, for no reason really, except it felt wrong to be the last person who remembered. It slipped out of a used book and landed face down on the floor beside my chair. A small photograph, edges weren't soft from being carried around. Long before it found me, two people standing somewhere outside, both smiling at something beyond the frame, like the camera wasn't the important part. I turned it over, expecting nothing, and found 4 words written in blue ink. We made it, that's all it said. No place, no day, no explanation. Just 4 words, and suddenly I wanted to know everything about a moment that belonged to somebody else. Maybe it was a graduation, maybe a road trip, maybe a move across the country, maybe a Tuesday that felt bigger than it should have. The picture never explained itself, and I never asked it to. Still, I kept looking like another answer might appear if I held it long enough in the light. Funny how a stranger's memory can feel familiar without permission. never told me which kind it was. We made it, still written there, years of possibilities packed into 4 words, a whole story folded small enough to fit behind a photograph. And somehow the mystery lasted longer than any answer could have. I put it back inside the book, right where I found it, and for a second I almost wrote something on the back for the next person. But some stories feel better half finished. I found the list in the bottom of a shopping cart, folded one soft at the corners like it's been all afternoon. Moving around the store, milk, bread, coffee, eggs, everything crossed out with quick blue lines, one after another until the very bottom. One item left untouched. Strawberries still waiting on the list. Everything else was taken home, everything else made sense. But somehow the last word stayed behind, and I kept wondering why it never got crossed out. Maybe they forgot, maybe the shelf was empty, maybe they looked at the price and changed their mind. Maybe somebody texted, "Don't worry about it," halfway through the trip. Maybe they were in a hurry, maybe they were already late. The truth was probably ordinary, most things are. Still, I couldn't stop guessing. Funny how one unfinished thing can hold more attention than everything completed. Strawberries still waiting on the list. Everything else was taken home, everything else made sense. But somehow the last word stayed behind, and I kept wondering why it never got crossed out. I almost threw it away like anybody would have, folded it and put it in my pocket for no good reason other than the fact that it felt strange to be the only thing left unfinished. Strawberries, 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 written in blue ink at the bottom of a page that should have meant nothing. A forgotten item from a stranger's afternoon, turning into a story I kept carrying around long after the list stopped belonging to anyone. Sometimes I think about whoever wrote it and whether they ever went back for the strawberries, or if they forgot the way we all forget something small every time we leave a store, believing we got everything. There was a neck pillow left on a row of airport seats, blue fabric, a little worn at the edges, the kind of thing someone would probably carry through more than one city, more than one delay around it. Everything kept moving, announcements overhead, rolling suitcases, people checking the time like it owed them something. But That pillow stayed exactly where it was. Nobody looked for it, nobody picked it up for a while. It felt like I was the only one who noticed. Carry on, that's what they call things you take with you. But this one got left behind, somewhere between departures and destinations. A small reminder that even careful people forget things sometimes. I started making guesses the way I always do. Maybe they were running late, maybe boarding had already started. Maybe they set it down for just a second and never looked back. Maybe they're sitting by a window now, halfway to another country, not realizing something stayed behind to remember the trip for them. Funny how an empty seat can feel occupied when a story's still sitting there. Carry on, that's what they call the things you take with you. But this one got left behind, somewhere between departures and destinations. A small reminder that even careful people forget things sometimes. A final boarding call echoed through the terminal. People stood up one row at a time. The gate slowly emptied until it was just me, a cleaning cart, and that night pillow, still waiting for somebody who wasn't coming back. Carry on. Maybe that's why it stayed with me, not because it was valuable, not because it was rare, but because it felt familiar. Like every unfinished goodbye, every missed detail, every moment you only notice after it's already gone. Eventually, someone from the airport took it away, like they were supposed to, and the seat looked ordinary again. But every time I fly now, I still glance around the gate, just to see what somebody else forgot to take with them. I found it in the drawer next to the hotel notepad, tucked beneath the city guide, like somebody had meant to come back for it. Before checking out, a postcard of the harbor, blue water, white boats, the kind they sell near every train station. An airport gift shop, nothing unusual until I turned it over. An address half written, a message half finished. Not sent, still waiting in room 312. A few words, a crossed out line, and the space where the ending should have been. I don't know who it was for or why it stayed behind, but somehow that unfinished postcard felt heavier than a suitcase. The handwriting was careful and suddenly rushed, like something changed halfway through. The first sentence talked about the weather, the second about the view, the third stopped in the middle right after "I wish you could." And that was it, no signature, no goodbye, no explanation, just silence where the rest should have been. Funny how a missing sentence can take up more space than a finished one. I sent, still waiting in room 312. A few words, a crossed out line, and a space where the ending should have been. I don't know who it was for or why it stayed behind, but somehow that unfinished postcard felt heavier than a suitcase. Maybe they forgot it, maybe they changed their mind, maybe they said it another way, maybe they never said it at all. The truth could have been simple, most truths are, but sitting there alone It invited bigger stories than it probably deserved. Not sent, not lost either, just left somewhere between intention and action, between writing something down and letting it go. A postcard, a few unfinished words, and a stranger's hesitation, still traveling long after they checked out. I left it where I found it, closed the drawer and walked away. But every now and then, when I can't find the right words, I think about that postcard and wonder how many things never make it to the mailbox.